Hey there, YouTube, here with another entry into the Learn to NSMBU series. This is on more advanced stuff with wall jumping, not like super crazy, but yeah. This level's probably going to end up in super expert, even though it's hard to die. But I think that you guys could beat it if you watch this video. Maybe if you don't watch it, you'd have a lot of trouble, but I think you could be able to beat it after watching this. So actually, everything in this video is the same. Well, not the same. Everything in this video is in Mario Maker 1, but it's a lot different. So we're going to go over item wall carries. Now, in Mario Maker 1, some of this was easy, some of it was hard. The thing that makes this a lot harder now is they changed the game to where when you throw something at the wall, it just sticks to it like that. So in Mario Maker 1, if I did this, the spring would bounce to the left, and I could like wall jump and catch it really easy. But it doesn't work like that now, so it's a little different, but you can still do it. So here in the first room, it looks a little complex, I know. But here in the first room, we got this jump here. If you mess up, Piggy's there. Okay, so like I said, in Mario Maker 1, you could do this, and it would work. It could be very easy, but not the case anymore. So there's two ways to do a spring wall jump. One is the old way, but you have to do it a bit differently, like this. So you throw it, and then you have to wait a while until the spring drops down to your level, and then you can catch it. The other way is drop it, which I think is better because you can gain more height. Just jump, drop the spring, then wall jump. Well, not like that. You do have to wait a little bit if you drop it as well. I'm actually not sure why that's the case, but if you jump too soon, he just doesn't grab it. Anyway. So, yeah. The idea is either you throw it and wait a while, jump and grab it, or you drop it, wait less time, jump and grab it. And obviously to grab it, you have to be holding the run button. Okay. So this first one is kind of like an assisted jump. This one should be pretty easy. You probably won't get it first try, but I know you can. So essentially, you're going to jump here, and the indicator is here, but you could drop it anywhere. Just make sure you drop it once you start falling. And if you do that, you can cling to the wall here, and then just jump off when the spring is at your level, and you'll have it over there. So it would look like this. It's very easy. Like, I could drop it actually at the indicator. I could drop it way, way, way up higher. Doesn't matter, as long as I drop it after I've started falling. Okay, the second one is a bit more difficult. By the way, these bumpers are here to de-cheese. Otherwise, you could just wall jump up here. Okay, so remember, like I said, you can either throw it, wait, and jump, or you can drop it, wait less, and jump. I would recommend dropping it because throwing it is a lot harder. Dropping it, it's also more useful. Plus the other, you'll see later, the other types, you can't throw them. That's not going to work, so. It sucks, because in Mario Maker 1, it was so easy to do it with a spring, but anyway. There's two ways you can do it. One is you can face the wall like this, which I would recommend, or you can face away from the wall. And this is a lot harder to do. You essentially have to drop it and like almost immediately wall jump. I actually don't know if you could do it in this scenario. Anyway, so yeah, just jump. When you start falling, drop it, slide on the wall for a bit, and then you can grab it. It looks like this. Well, you need a bit better jump. Well, you need to be good at the game. Okay. So that's how it would look if you dropped it. If you threw it, it would look like this. Either one can work. Like I said, I'd recommend dropping it. So yeah, this one, if you're a little overwhelmed, This one is hard. I think you could beat it, but I imagine this level is going to end up in Super Expert. Okay, so next up is a P-switch. So just like before, let's see. Okay, yeah, so the P-switch. In Mario Maker 1, you could throw it like this and just wait a little bit, but like I said, it doesn't bounce off the wall anymore, so that's not a thing. The only option is to drop it. Now, with Mario Maker 2, or probably Mario Maker 1 as well, you can't really drop it, like, you know, the P-switch isn't the same as a spring in that regard. You could maybe do something like this, like drop it, let it bounce off your head, and then catch it, but you see how far I slid down the wall? It's really not worth it. So this one, you actually do want to drop it at the indicator, and you want to be facing away from the wall, because if you're facing towards the wall, it's just going to do that. It'll bounce off your head. That's because you go through springs, but you don't go through a P-switch. Okay, so for this one, just drop it at the indicator, then immediately wall jump. Not like that. And it'll look like that. It's a pretty tight jump. But yeah, you can do it. It's gonna be hard, but just drop it directly at the indicator and then immediately wall jump. And you'll make it. This one here is, honestly, it's probably easier than the first one. So yeah, you could drop it facing the wall and it doesn't work, so you may be able to actually throw it like that, since there's a wall there, if you want to try that, but I would recommend dropping it, as that's more useful in just like a generic level scenario, so just drop it at the indicator. Now, if you notice when I drop it, it kind of sticks to the wall and gets stuck for a little bit. You may not notice, but the fact that it's getting stuck to the wall like that is making it a little easier, so it basically makes it fall a little slower just for a few frames. But yeah, just drop it at the indicator, wall jump, and grab it. And hopefully this coin here lets you know not to use the P-switch right away. If you do, you're not soft flopped, you can die on the spike. So this room is with a POW. This probably looks identical to the last room. This one's not much different than Mario Maker 1, because in Mario Maker 1, if you throw the POW, it blows up, so this was probably the hardest thing to use in Mario Maker 1 for most players, as far as item wall carries go. But it's essentially the same as the P-switch. Just drop it at the indicator, wall jump immediately, and you'll make it. Same thing here, except now you can't throw it, because if you do, it breaks. There's a much more advanced technique with POWs where you kind of drop it at the peak of your jump, so it's inside of you, and then you can catch it like this. Well, not like that. I'm not even sure I know how to do it.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't even think I know how to do it, but essentially you can drop it and it kind of is inside of you. Then you twirl and you can wall jump and grab it, but that's very, very advanced. I've never been very good at it. But this one, the same as the P-switch, just drop it at the indicator, it'll hit the wall jump, and you can get through. Finally, we have shells. Now, I don't know a better way to do this room. It's going to be kind of annoying because Nintendo did an annoying thing with Mario Maker 2. If I drop this shell, it doesn't reset its timer, so it's going to wake up. There's not much I can do to get around that, so yeah, I'm not sure the best way to, I don't know. Anyway, it's the same as the other rooms, except with a shell, you can go through it. So like springs, you could go through, P-switches, POWs, you could not. Shells, you can. So with the shell, I could drop this much higher and wall jump and grab it. Whereas with the power or the P-switch, it would bounce off my head. So this is just the same as the other rooms. Drop it there, wall jump. And here... Oh, see what I mean? Like, it was going to wake up on me. I'd say the best way to handle it is when you get up here, just drop it and wait for it to wake up. I know it makes it take a while, but if you do that, it'll reset it. Okay, so here you could either face away from the wall like you did with the P-switch and POW, or you could do it like the spring and face towards the wall. Just make sure you wait a bit before wall jumping, otherwise you go through it. So yeah, drop it, wait a bit. Oh, that can happen too. So different from the spring, the shell, if you collide with it, it will, you'll kick it, you know, so. You want to make sure you drop it above you. The reason that happened is I dropped it too soon, and then when I waited to jump off it, you know, it collided with Luigi, so he kicked it. But yeah. It's just the same as the others. Honestly, if you get one of these rooms, you'll probably be able to get all 4. Also, if you try to bring the shell, ain't gonna work. Okay, so this room is something different. Even a lot of high-level players may have never seen this. So what this is, we call it a weird wall jump. I know, very interesting name. And what you want to do here is you gotta get up here. Obviously, that's where the coin is. How do you do it? Well, so you could, you know, try to triple jump up there or something. I don't know, maybe jump like that. It's not gonna work. To understand this level, this trick, you need to know that there's something called the wall jump state. Now, let me save this just to be safe. Now, what the heck is the wall jump state? Well, I've switched to low gravity theme here to kind of help show this off, so.
Here we go.
The wall jump state is the state you're in after wall jumping until you're not wall jumping. I don't know how else to explain it, but in that state, you're a little bit slower. So if I were to like jump, well, it's actually okay. It's different in this low gravity theme. I put it in the low gravity to really show this off, but essentially in normal themes, you're faster just if you do a jump or if you are just running than you would be if you wall jumped. Okay, so when you're in the wall jumping state, you are not able to adjust your acceleration or direction. So if I just wall jump and let go of the controller, he does that. If I hold left, same thing. If I hold right, same thing. Like it's always the same. Now, we've found ways to get out of this wall jumping state to let us do this. In Mario Maker 1, you may have seen a player do a fire flower wall climb. Which, if you've seen it, it looks something like this. They do this, and you know, they pull towards the wall. Well, Nintendo patched it out, so what was actually happening is when you shot the fireball, you would get out of that wall jump state, and that would allow you to, you know, change your direction so you could pull back towards the wall, or another thing is you could pull away from the wall and you'd be really fast. But it doesn't work anymore. Also, you used to be able to throw an item, but I don't think that works anymore either. So you may have had something like this. Yeah, and that's not a thing either. They changed that. Anyway, all that being aside, there are still ways to get out of it. One is land. Like if you're on the ground, you're not in the wall jumping state. And 2 is once you've reached the apex of your wall jump. So watch, when I hit the top, he'll turn back to the right. And even if I do a lower jump, he can still do it. But another way, which is what we're going to abuse here, is hit a ceiling. Now, watch when I hit the ceiling and I hold right. Like, I can almost get back to the wall. That kind of looks like the old Fireflower wall climb, if you remember. The difference is when I hit the ceiling, it makes me start falling immediately. Whereas with the Fireflower, you're still going up. Anyway, if you still can't tell, that's why I wanted to use the low gravity theme to really show it off. So if this ceiling's not here, and I wall jump like this, I'm holding right. See, I can't pull back to the right. It just won't let me. But if this ceiling's here, and I wall jump, look at that. So you can really tell in this theme that it's definitely doing something. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Very high level things, so like if you don't understand it, don't worry about it. You can still beat this room without it, but the goal is to get you guys to understand why it works. So anyway, back to this room. What are we doing here? So this note block's here. It doesn't have to be a note block. Maybe I'll change it to... No, I'll leave it as a note block. It could be any block other than a spike, because that would kill you. So what's happening here? I'm going to wall jump, and I'm going to just barely collide with this note block. Now, you know, if I have too much speed, I do that. But see how it's letting me pull towards the wall? Whereas if I don't hit it, I can't. Now, to do this right, maybe if you run from like right here, full wall jump, and you just barely touch the note block. It gets you out of that wall jump state. You're able to go to the right. So if you twirl, you can get up. Most players have probably never seen this, and it's not useful a lot. I mean, some high-level players will build a level that force you to do it, but you never know. You may find cheese this way. I've done it before. But yeah, stand about... what is that? 3.5 blocks away, run, full jump, and just do 2 twirls, and you can get up. It's pretty cool. Okay, this room is probably going to be... Hopefully it's not too hard for some people, but I really wanted to get people used to ground pounding off of a wall jump, because it's just so useful. Like, none of the other styles have this. I guess 3D World does now, but 3D World's still slower. You can abuse ground pounding so much, like... I don't know. You can use it for a lot of stuff. It's just so helpful. But anyway, all you want to do here is just keep doing this. Wall jump, twirl. Wall jump, ground pound, twirl, sorry. And I got crushed. How many times do you have to do this to... 3, 4, 5... Yeah, so you have to do 5 of them. I feel like people are going to struggle with this, but really it's not too bad. Basically, you just... down, up... You do need to twirl though, so down, up, twirl. If you don't twirl, it's not going to work for you. But this is kind of a harder version of the one in the ground pound level with the one-way gates. It's a little bit faster paced. But, yeah, pretty much nearly immediately after wall jumping you can ground pound. Like, see how fast I'm doing it? You don't need to go that fast, but...
Here we go.
Basically, if you haven't seen the ground pound video, all you do is press down and then immediately hold up. You can buffer the up input, so... Yeah, you just have to be holding up after you press down, and then you twirl, and then you just repeat. If you're trying to get used to it, maybe you can do this to practice. But I think you could get it. It's not super hard. I could have made it really hard, like lowered the ceiling or something, but I think you guys can get it. Okay, and finally, we have a wall jumping off the edge of the screen. So due to the way I designed the level, this is on the right, but you may see it on the right sometimes, but usually this is on the left. And you never know, the creator may just not know that you could do this or something. But you can't wall jump off the edge of the screen, but it stops your speed, so if you, you know, if you wall jump, you're not able to make it back to the wall, but with this invisible wall here on the edge, you can just hold left and you actually only need one twirl to gain height. I could move this to the left by one if I did this. It would be a little harder, but I don't want this to be you dying due to twirls, you know. I think... yeah, so that's 4 blocks. I think 5 blocks is too many, maybe.
Here we go.
Yeah, so you can't gain height there. Anyway, but this is 3 blocks. It's not too bad. You really only need 1 twirl. Obviously it's faster. You gain height faster if you do 2 twirls, but you only need 1. But yeah, this is just showing you can use the edge of the screen to climb up 1 wall. And let me raise this by 1. But anyway, it's fairly common to find cheese in a level. It'll usually be on the left side, but a lot of people don't know you can do this, so maybe you can break their level. Okay, then finally, after you beat all those, you get the key door, and you can go to the goal. But, you notice the 1-ups are here. This is an optional trick. It's pretty hard. So this, we are going to wall jump and get up here. Now, you may be like, what the heck? That doesn't even look close to possible. But the idea is we're going to do a duck jump. So if you're ducked, and, you know, if you don't know when you're ducked, your hitbox shrinks. And look, see how when he clings to the wall, it raises him up? It forces you out of being ducked, so it kind of raises your hitbox. In Mario Maker 1, you could abuse that to, like, get past hidden blocks, soft blocks. You may have seen me do it a lot, but they patched it out, which is really unfortunate. Anyway, the way you want to do here is duck jump, twirl, and yeah, it's pretty tough. You have to immediately wall jump to, you know, be able to, like that. So this one's very hard. If you can get it, that's great. But yeah, duck jump, twirl, and make sure you're like kind of in line with the ceiling, and then when you cling to the wall, immediately wall jump. If not, you'll lose just a little bit of height, and then you can't get up there. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. If you have any questions or anything, you can leave a comment below, or if you come to my stream and ask as well, I'll be able to help you out. But now all we have left is to upload it. Come on. Okay. I messed up in the weird wall jump room, but oh well, it's good enough. Alright. And that is the final clear check. We're done. So yeah. This one is definitely the hardest so far. Alright, there's the code MVLT777XF. So yeah, go out there and beat it if you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. That's the goal of these. Like I said, if you're confused or stuck or something, I don't know. You can leave a comment below, I'll try to help, or you can show up to the stream and ask a question. So I think I may make one on shells next now. Shells are interesting because, you know, a lot of shell tricks are just in all styles, like just a regular old shell jump. You can do that in anything, except Mario 1, but there's a lot of new soup specific shell stuff too. So I may make 2 shell levels, we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much, I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.